Hey, my name is Eric. In today's video, we're talking about how to form or create an LLC in Virginia. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through 3 different ways that you can do this. The first way is actually using the Virginia State website, and it's kind of like a DIY route, but going through that official website. The second method is you can use an attorney, but I'm going to show you how you can vet some attorneys and also be able to filter it down so that you can get attorneys that focus on LLCs, but also offer free consultations on top of it. And then the third route, I'm going to show you some free online tools that you can also use as well. Some of the key takeaways for this video is we will be discussing what an LLC actually does, because sometimes there's some misinformation on that. And some really important things about an LLC is understanding what piercing the corporate veil means. If you're not familiar with that term, you've never heard that term before, you're definitely going to want to stay on this video because we're going to talk about how that relates to your business finances and also if you have a registered agent set up. I'm going to explain what all this means for you as we get into this video. The very first thing I want to do though is I want to share a resource with you which comes from InkFile, which is an online tool that you can register an LLC through, but they have a learning center here with a ton of helpful resources. And one of the things that I find really helpful is the business checklist. So you'll find it right here, Start a Business Checklist. I know from starting my own business that it's very overwhelming. You have so many things that you're thinking about. There's so many things to overlook. Well, this is a great resource in that it'll walk you through with really simple drop-down boxes like this that kind of give you a blurb on each section and each step that you need to consider as you're going through your journey. Now, this is a good opportunity to mention that every resource mentioned in this video is going to be in the description of this video. If you're on mobile, you may have to click a little down arrow to see it, but if you're on desktop, you'll just have to click the Show More button so that you can see all the resources mentioned from this video. So let's start off with the IRS website. So they have some resources on limited liability companies. This is important because if you are running a business, there's a good chance that you're going to need an EIN number, an employee identification number. This article here will let you know if you do need one. And the reason I mention this now is that a lot of services are going to do this for you, but they're going to do it at an upcharge. This is something that you can do yourself. It is a little bit of a pain in the butt because you're going through the IRS, but you're going to need an EIN number most likely. So I wanted to give you this resource, and again, it'll be in the description below. Now, the first method for setting up an LLC in Virginia is to go directly through the state website. So what we're looking at right here is Virginia Limited Liability Companies, and this is showing us all of the possible forms that you could possibly have, along with what the fee is for filing that form. So what you're going to be looking at is the Articles of Organization of a Virginia Limited Liability Company, and it's a $100 fee for filing that with the state. You'll find that about $100 is really in the middle. Every state in the US for the most part charges a fee for filing. There is no way to get around this. So if you go directly through the state, you're going to pay $100. If you go through an attorney, there's going to be a $100 filing fee. And if you go online through an online tool, there's going to be a $100 filing fee. So let's start off with the Virginia website. So scc.virginia.gov. And what you can see here is new business resources. There's a lot of different places you can go on here. One of the first I want to show you is all the forms and fees. And again, I'll have this link in the description below. So as you open this up, what you would do is you would go to Virginia Limited Liability Companies. And here you'll be able to find the forms that you're looking for, and specifically Articles of Organization of a Virginia Limited Liability Company. Now, you should know that it's $100 to file these. You're not going to get around that fee in any way possible. If you go directly through the Virginia website, you're going to pay a $100 filing fee. If you go through an attorney, there's going to be a $100 filing fee that they may lump inside of their fee. And then also if you use a free online tool, $100 filing fee. So if you are creating a new business, what you can do is you can click here. And then what that'll do is it gives you a few different options on how you can create the new business. Probably the easiest way is to register an account by clicking this green button, and then you can go through their online registration process. Now, a lot of times with these state websites, the thing that I don't like is they don't do a great job of explaining all of the aspects of what you're signing up for and what's important. So for example, this is actually the form that I mentioned earlier for your Articles of Organization. Like I said, there's a $100 filing fee. Now, if you go down to Article 2, Registered Agent, it starts to talk about what a registered agent is, where the registered office is, but it doesn't really get into the details. So this time I think it would be a good time to explain exactly what an LLC does, because I want to get into piercing the corporate veil and registered agents. So some people think that they're going to set up an LLC for some sort of tax advantage or tax purpose. That's not why you set it up. It is for limiting your liability. And specifically what it does is it creates a division between your business assets and your personal assets. So in the unfortunate case, if you were to get sued by somebody, what would happen is if you have a legit LLC and there's no cracks in your LLC, they're only going to be able to go after your business assets and not your personal home, your personal car, your personal bank accounts. But where there's an issue with an LLC is if it's not set up correctly or not maintained properly. What it's called is piercing the corporate veil. That's what the attorney suing you is going to try to do. They're going to try to find a crack in your LLC and pierce the corporate veil. And one of the common ways that this is done is through the registered agent. So what a registered agent is it's a third party that is always required when you're setting up an LLC. And what they do is they accept important legal documents from the state and federal level. They make sure that you're processing any notices, especially if you're being sued by somebody. They do official federal government correspondence information notifications, tax forms and requests for payment, and requests to complete permits, company filings, or reports. So this is really important because sometimes people setting it up will like go through the online form through their state website and say, yeah, my registered agent is my sister because I'm trying to save a few dollars and I'm gonna be fine and she can just take the paperwork and send it to me. The purpose of a registered agent is to make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's so that there's no cracks in your LLC. So if you are sued someday, that person suing you is only going to be able to go after your business assets alone. Now, if you look at this article of organizations form straight from the virginia.gov website, you see that you have your filing fee of $100. They do mention registered agent in your registered office, but they don't really get into the semantics of it and why it's important. And it's my opinion that a lot of people will fill this out in a rush and just say, Article 2, who's my registered agent? Sure, it's my buddy Jim and he'll take care of it, that's fine. And that's the thing that I think kind of stinks with going through the state websites is they don't give you a lot of education in that way. So the next method I want to talk about is how you can find an attorney that specializes in LLCs and is also in your state and offers free consultations. So what you're seeing on the screen right here is a service called Avo. I am not affiliated with them in any way. I've just used the service. I like the service. I think it's a great lawyer directory lookup. And one of the things you can do is after you search, Virginia and LLCs, that's what we're on right here, as you can see, Virginia Limited Liability Company Lawyers. You can also go to your specific city if you want, but what I've done here is I've selected some filters. I want attorneys that offer a free consultation with a Avo rating of 9 and up. And what you can see is there are 3 attorneys in Virginia and they have a 9 and up rating on Avo, and they also offer free consultations. So this would also be a good time to explain that I am not an attorney or a CPA. The way that I have learned all this stuff is just by researching this for myself as I'm setting up my own company. I found a lot of frustrations, a lot of issues, and the purpose of this video is to give you as much information so that you can make the best decision for yourself. If that means hiring an attorney, that means hiring an attorney. If it's going through the state website, you can go that route, or the third route, which is using some online tools. The advantage of these online tools is they've been around for a while and they're optimized to make it a very easy process for you to file an LLC. So LegalZoom is probably the most recognizable name in that space. The downside of using a service like this is, I have it highlighted down here, is that it costs $79 on top of your filing fee. So if you remember, your filing fee was going to be $100 in the state of Virginia, but then on top of that, you're going to have a $79 fee. That's the reason why I recommend this InkFile service. Not only do they have really helpful resources here in their learning center, again, I would give this a gander, a lot of good information in here. But they've been around since 2004. They've incorporated or launched more than 250,000 businesses. And the really cool part is it starts at $0. So what I want to do is explain how they actually offer the service at $0 starting out plus your state fee. So in your particular case, what you do is you go to LLC and then you would choose Virginia in the drop-down box here. And as we go down to the packages, you'll notice the silver package has the $100 state fee and then a $0 package fee. So the way that they're offering this at $0 is, of course, they have these upsells here, and we'll get into that in a minute. But you'll see that they'll prepare and file your articles of organization, unlimited name searches, and free registered agent service for a year. So they have this registered agent service article here. Again, this is in the Learning Center about registered agents. But if you scroll down to the bottom of the article, what it does in this section right here is explain that it's free for the first year when you incorporate with InkFile and just $119 annually after that. So when you do use their service, know that year 2, 3, 4, there's a $119 fee for that registered agent. But again, I think it's well worth it because too many people get set up with an LLC and they make their friend Jimmy the registered agent because they're trying to save a buck. And then when they actually get sued, the whole purpose they have the LLC to protect themselves, to limit their liability, is just got all these cracks in it because they didn't set it up the right way. Where with InkFile, they'll have a official registered agent service. They take care of all that information for you, but they're going to make sure you're getting all the documents and crossing your T's and dotting your I's when it comes to your LLC. So a couple other things I want to make note of on here. In the gold package at the bottom here, they have a business tax consultation and a business banking account. What I found is going through this process on the silver package is those are actually offered. They're just kind of marketing it as an upsell. But the business banking account currently is through Bank of America. And that's really important again, because one of the things you don't want to do is commingle your funds. So what I mean by that is like you have your personal bank account and your business bank account. If you were to get sued, the attorney suing you is going to try to look for cracks in your LLC, and one of those cracks could be that you're commingling the funds because you just have a personal bank account that is handling all of your business transactions along with your personal transactions. That's why it's important that you get a business bank account set up. The other thing, the business tax consultation, like I said, that's a free consultation that they are going to offer in the silver package. And then the last thing I want to mention is the EIN business tax number. This is really, in my opinion, where a lot of the value of the gold package comes from, because I did set mine up myself through the IRS website, which is in the description of this video, but it is a pain in the butt, so it is kind of nice if that's something you want to consider. So the last thing I want to talk about is how you can potentially save on taxes. If you already are creating more than $40,000 of net income a year, you may want to consider an S-Corporation. Probably good to speak with an attorney, but the video on the screen that you're seeing here of an Inc. file review, I get into how you can save on taxes by filing as an S-Corp as opposed to an LLC. But if you're thinking of going the LLC route, you're in good company. About 80% of all new businesses formed are an LLC. All right, guys, thank you for using my links in the description below. It helps support my channel, so I truly appreciate it. And I look forward to catching you in the next video.